All righty. Good afternoon, everybody. We want to try something different this time. This time it is streaming to the interwebs. We're going to do probably more of this stuff. This is the pilot. We'll see how it goes. We obviously took all the contact information off these resumes. We confirmed that we are good to show these live. So these will not be a surprise for people. But again, the names and information have been redacted, so we don't put anybody too much on the spot. Lawrence, if you want to give a quick background about yourself, specifically the Java ecosystem, and then we'll go and start looking at resumes.
I am a Java developer. Got my wings or earned my stripes primarily at FedEx Services. I worked on the sortation of a few 100,000 packages per hour, working in Java and Spring Boot microservices. That was a good solid 4 years. And then after that, I went and represented Vaadin for 1 3/4 years, which was a very popular and still very popular full stack Java framework. So I spent more time in the Java ecosystem than any other. I have done web dev, full stack on the React side of things, and a little Node.js in the background, a little Python, but Java has typically been my jam.
I love it, man. That sounds good. All right. So, Lawrence, you have been a part of this thing for a minute. You know how we do things. Let us take a moment. Let us consume this information, and then let's get into it. All right.
Here we go. Here we go. For some reason, the bold is throwing me off of the executive summary, and then the little indentation on the paragraph. I don't think we need that indentation. Just go ahead and make that flush left. But executive summary, let me just read it real quick.
Yeah. Lawrence is looking over this. I want to go and start yapping. Here's the deal. So first off, and again, some of this is like super minutia. Some of it's kind of general. I don't like the word executive summary. If you are not executive, you don't need an executive summary. So professional summary, I like bullet points here, but I also think most of the words here are just words.
Walls of text will typically just not get looked at. We know that ever since. You know the author of Cracking the Coding Interview, Gail Lockton McDowell? She said that on that first resume she put out on Career Cup. Walls of text just get scanned over. Bullet text captures attention. Yeah. So whenever you have a wall of text like here, a big paragraph, they're going to try to look for the keywords maybe, but they're going to look for the bullet points. So they're more than likely, after they see the name, which is blotted out, but after they see the name, they're probably going straight to skills and not catching any of that. So yeah, definitely bullet points here. And even with that, the content we're putting here, full stack engineer, great. Building web apps, okay, great. Measurable impact. I immediately wonder, what is the impact? They do say, so there's a positive, they do say what the impact was. So increased customer traffic and conversions, optimizing performance, site architecture, SEO. So those are real. Hopefully we have some numbers behind that, some actual KPIs and some metrics. But for a summary, at least they did back up measurable impact with examples. So that's a +1 on that part. But I would definitely bullet point that, like you said.
Yeah, I mean,
we're not bad. We're not bad. Generally speaking, is given the one thing we want to avoid once we get to the experience part, which when we get to the experience part, we want to avoid writing job descriptions. We want to write accomplishments. There's a certain aspect of the summary that's giving the feeling of job description, and it's not giving accomplishments. So they start off good. The first 2 sentences are good. Those sound like accomplishments. But then once they get to the I build, all the rest of that just sounds like a job description. So there's no meat. And the reason that's important is your description of a job description on a resume will not separate you or make you stand out from any other applicant. I have no reason to grab your application. It's not that those things are bad. You did those things. Great. But there's nothing there to make you say, as a recruiter, or make me say, if I was a hiring manager or even on the hiring team, hey, we need to call this person. There's nothing there because it's not accomplishment. It's not success. It doesn't scream, call me. It screams, I did my job. And that's what you absolutely want to avoid because it looks too much like everybody else's resume. The number of layoffs and the amount of noise, you can literally consider everyone else's resume and ecosystem noise. You need to look unique and sound unique in positive impact forming ways.
Yep, absolutely. Let's get into kind of here, right? So experience, we're looking at somebody who went through an apprenticeship. Looks like there's some stuff here. I think I need more.
Yeah. Before I even get there, right off the bat on skills, when I see the cloud DevOps section and there's no major cloud provider listed, I have a red flag. Do not put cloud and you don't include either AWS, Azure, or GCP, or at least OCI, Oracles. You have to put one of those. Otherwise, just leave that section out. I never would have thought about that if I didn't read it. But now that I see that, because this person brought attention to cloud because they put cloud, I'm immediately thinking they must be more junior level because no mid-level or senior engineer would include cloud as a skill without putting an actual cloud provider. You just called yourself out. You brought attention to something about yourself that's not a feature. So the best thing they can do if they don't have any experience in one of those 4 is remove that, go get some experience, be it in a project, open source, whatever, then you can add it back. Docker is fine, but Docker is containerization. Vercel is fine for what it does, but it's still not one of the 4 major providers.
Yep.
The major providers are AWS, GCP, OCI, and Azure. If you're going to put cloud as a skill, you have to put a cloud provider.
What I would love to see here, I mean, listen, like you have 3 months and you've been doing, I guess this is this person's their own thing. I think one of the biggest things that people mess up on is when they are doing their own thing. And I get being a junior and I get freelance, especially right now. Everybody's looking really more for fractional work than ever before. You need to give some details on what you've done. I mean, you could argue this person has been doing consulting for almost 5 years now, and there's only 2 bullet points.
So yeah, a lot going on here. First things first, I'm not a big, so if you're going to do the work yourself thing, I do not advise naming it after yourself because it kind of gives it away.
Yes, I
That's
agree.
Number one. Number two, there's 0 reason to put consultant there. Just remove that. So let's just say they called theirs. You know what mine was called when I was started? It was called Top Southern Coders.
I like that.
There's no association with my name. And I created a LinkedIn page and I bought an LLC for Top Southern Coders. It was a legitimate business. It was just me and my church's website. But
I love it.
There was nothing about the way I put it to minimize myself. It looked like a legit company. If you clicked on it, it was a legit company with the 1 to 5 employees on LinkedIn. I didn't put consultant. I put developer because I was a developer. Why would I put consultant as my most recent experience on a developer resume and I'm trying to become a developer? Remove that. The best proof of that you can do the future job is you're doing the job now.
Love that.
So if you're not trying to get hired as a consultant, why would you have consultant as your job title? Put software engineer and leave it at that. Rename your company to something that's not you, and then put accomplishments. Bullet points have to be accomplishments. We can probably say this for every resume we're going to look at. Bullet points have to be accomplishments.
Yep.
Engineered full stack web application for small business. All that is just a job description. Now at the end, we get a metric, but it almost feels like it was just tacked on by 20%. How? What did you do? How did you increase the online engagement? With the React part, the Java part? Certainly not the Docker part. Docker has nothing to do with increase. So as an engineer, I don't see a tie between the languages, the ending KPI, and there's a complete gap of what you actually did. Again, accomplished X by doing Y as measured by Z. That's the formula. Accomplished X by doing Y as measured by Z. So there's a huge gap in what did you use to increase engagement. But then part 2, the second bullet point sounds like the description of the first bullet point. Drove conversion growth. Well, that's what you just talked about. You increased the traffic. So now I'm not seeing much there. So if this is your personal thing, which obviously it is, rename it, remove consultant, and do something with it. Like go ham, go crazy. If you're not employed, employ yourself. Go crazy. Like, what's the biggest accomplishment I can make? Can I institute AI in this? Can I build an AI system? Can I build is it just my website? Can I build a chat bot for my website? Can I build an agent for my website? Throw some AI in that sucker since AI is everywhere now. What can you do with your own thing? There's no restrictions. See, when you work for a 9 to 5 job, you can do what they tell you to do, and you try to push the envelope a little bit. But if it's your own thing, you could go crazy. There's no limitations. You should be going hard. The GitHub should be replete with commits about how far you're pushing your own thing because you're not doing anything else.
Absolutely. So we're going to stick with the rating that me and Jason pioneered. 1 to 5. Like 3.0 is like you're on the verge of burning it down, but like you don't have to. Anything under 3 is burning it down. What do you think?
I'm going to rate it a 2, but not because I'm burning it down. I just have no reason to call this person.
Yes.
You want your resume to give them a reason to call you. I have no reason to call that person. So I'm going to say
absolutely. 2. All right. New one. I already like this. It is short and to the point.
Yeah. Just being 3 lines is less of a block of text.
Hit the skills early. Love that.
Notice you see the AWS is mentioned. So we have the cloud provider.
AWS CloudWatch too.
So multiple mentions of that. I like the fact. So number one of the big red flags person positions himself as a Java developer is not seeing enough Java and not seeing enough of the Java ecosystem in the resume. So right in the skills and in the summary, I already see Java. I see Spring MVC. I see Spring Boot. I see Maven and Gradle, which are 2 REST systems. I see JUnit, which is Java testing. Nobody talks about testing in their resume.
Nobody talks about testing.
Awesome. So I've already got a good, healthy dose of Java in just the skills and the summary. So I'm intrigued. So far, I'm 4+. I'm intrigued because I'm seeing meat. I'm seeing Java meat.
Why is this in blue? That annoys me.
Throws me off. Totally throws me off.
It's
hard to see. I'm having to squint now. You just ruined my mood in one line. I was doing so great. I was loving this resume.
Yeah, I like this. Automated quarterly batch updates for nursing home facility rates by analyzing large data sets and validating rate calculations, reducing processing time from 98%.
That's XYZ right there.
Love that.
Everybody just copy and paste that. That is a fantastic example.
I would like a little bit more context. And again, this is one of those things. So if you listen to my stream yesterday with Mike Pedito. Mike said something so good. He goes, right now in today's market, you have to be in like, I mean, I guess like the top 5%. He said like you have to be 95% sure you can get the job. We know Deloitte. I'm not saying you need a summary of who Deloitte is, but there's a lot of business units within Deloitte, and I would be curious on what this person is working in. Like, for example, I would like to say currently working on their, so I don't know what delivery center solution specialist is. Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So I would like focused on outpatient medical healthcare, blah, 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 blah. Because if this individual is trying to get a job in healthcare, there's only one mention of nursing homes, and people aren't going to be searching people may be searching nursing homes, but I think healthcare or medical or those overarching terms could help drive more traffic to this person's resume. But again, that's not like a must have. That's just like a Taylor nice to have over here.
I wouldn't even think they would try to go for healthcare, because the things that they did with Java at Deloitte are nothing like what they did at clearage.com, but it was still Java. And so their emphasis seems to be deep in the Java ecosystem, and I'm seeing enough context for me. I saw the batch updates. I know what that means. And the second bullet point under that, under the Deloitte, I know what that means. So I got a lot of meat there. I got my XYZ. I'm seeing accomplishments, not job description. So there's nothing here that you would read in a job description. That is giving me impetus to want to call this person to find out more. It doesn't mean they're a great candidate. They might be a horrible fit, but I see the type of things that I'm looking for to incline me to want to give them a call.
So I would like to see
an assert.
Yeah. So this person's got a dual MS degree in computer science, information technology, and an AWS cert. I would put that up at the summary for sure. So like software engineer with 6+ years of building scalable backend solutions using Java, blah, 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 MS degree in computer science, AWS cloud certified. Nice to have, not must have. What else? Is that it? I think this is good.
I don't have a lot to touch here.
I don't.
Beyond the blue, there's zero reason to do funny things with colors.
Yeah. Don't fix the blue.
Get rid of all that. It's not an excessive bold at all. It's just, it draws attention to what I need to see. I'm generally happy with this. This is not bad. This would get called. If I was hiring for a Java position, mid to senior level, I would at least give them a call. That's a good 4.5 for me. 4.5, 4 to 4.5.
Yeah. I think 4.3. That was definitely one of the stronger ones. All right, let's get to the next one. 2 down, 4 to go.
2 down.
All right, this is good.
Deployment speed. That's an interesting phrase. I might have an issue with that phrase. I'm not sure. It depends on what they mean, because deployment is an entire process. It's how do you measure the speed, like the velocity, the total time? Interesting phrasing. But to have done it by 80%, like what the heck did they do? That would incline me to look closer at this resume. So we got a little AI in there. All right, good. I was going to slide that in there. That was one of my notes. That these days you better slide some AI in there, some kind of way.
Yeah, you have to.
Some kind of way that makes sense. So
you have to.
Proficiency in building a Gen AI solution and a data pipeline. Data is everything now, using Python, Pandas, and REST APIs. I like that. So Java as a primary, Python as a secondary, like that's my horizontal level of my T-shaped skill set, and doing it with an AI solutions, Gen AI solutions and data pipelines. I like that. That's a nice match. That is probably more full stack now than a traditional React Java, or, thinking like web dev. Now it's like web dev plus AI is your full stack. How can you go AI? Can you move us faster with AI? And you already have like full stack development, as opposed to only being a full stack engineer. So
I'm worried about this. We have not worked for 2 years. What have we been doing?
And they were at AWS, no less.
Again, the names are redacted. I don't know. I can't call people out. And if you want to out yourself, let us know what you've been doing for 2 years. But
let's just talk about what should they have been doing if they were laid off in 2024, and it's been 2 years and a month now, and they haven't been able to get hired, or maybe they started, Ubering or flipping burgers, or maybe managing a restaurant locally. Right? They're making 50K.
We're both former restaurants.
And they did that since 2024. How would you handle that on a resume, you, Taylor?
Well, so if I'm a heads down recruiter, right, because I approach everything from my recruiting days, I would ask this person immediately, hey, what have you been doing?
Right.
Typically, the answer is nothing.
Yeah.
So that doesn't fly. So one of me and Jason's last resume reviews together, there was kind of a same situation. And the guy was like, I haven't really been doing anything. I think even Lawrence, you were in that one maybe. But like, you have to be building. And I will tell you this, as somebody who can't code but can use AI, there's no excuse not to build something now. There's just no excuse.
So how does that translate to this? Because you hit the experience, you're doing the scan as a recruiter, you hit this, you see 2024, where should they be putting what they've been doing since that? Put in the experience section?
Probably want an experience, because the way my eyes are going to read, if you're going to put this anywhere else, I'm immediately going to reject you. right? Now, here's the thing I want to get across. You do not have to get paid for it to be experience. People are like, oh, I'm not getting paid. I'll never forget when I was at Vaco, there was a 2-year React back when JavaScript was hot, Lawrence. You know, yeah, you remember those days. So basically, this guy came across my desk. His resume looked great. 2 years of React experience. I mean, 2 years of front end experience, heavy React. It was listed gray. It was written gray. I was like, man, like great resume. Tell me what you did. He walked me through it. And I was like, and then we started to get to the conversation like, hey, how much were you, recently making or what you want to make? He goes, so I wasn't making anything. What do you mean you weren't making anything? He goes, the last 2 years I've been working on this for about 10 hours a week on my spare time. And if he never told me that, like the way he spoke and the way it was perfect. So I think we get too caught up on if I'm getting paid, it should go in experience. And if I'm not getting paid, it shouldn't go experience. To me, if you can speak to the code in your GitHub or a project on your portfolio and you can show how you do it, that is experience.
And you would be fine with that, then put that as experience here.
I would.
And, yes. I asked that because I've had another recruiter say, absolutely do not put personal projects under work experience. That's lying.
No. And again, this is.
I've literally had them tell me that. Put it in its own section. Do not lie and put it under experience.
Experience is what is the definition of experience?
I'm going on what you're saying.
Experience is here on ChatGPT. Experience is learning something and being able to apply it in the future. That is the Taylor GPT version. Okay. If that's the definition of experience, if you are coding and you are learning and you can speak to it, that is experience. I think you need to still have a section on this resume and experience where you put some sort of one-liner about what you're doing. Because again, the big thing is if I am reading this resume and I come across you have not worked in 2024, I'm not going to keep scrolling. Does that make sense?
Yep. You're stuck. You're stuck right there.
You're stuck.
That point messes you up.
So if this individual is flipping burgers, I would have one line. Due to the market, I've been working. But that, again, going back to experience and learning, if you have been sitting on your hands for 2 years, I'm just going to shoot you straight. You are in deep trouble.
Yep, totally agree. Okay. So I just wanted to hear that in clarity and from TGPT because I've heard different things.
TGPT, let's go. But again, great background. We got some certs. So, maybe this individual just hadn't updated the resume. I hope that's the case. Let's take this resume as is without the gap. What are you rating it?
As is, I'm going to say 3.8.
I think 3.2.
Okay.
Now, that 2-year gap, that's a whole other conversation. All right.
Right off the bat, block of text in the summary, way too much. And why is all the technical skills bolded? There's just literally no reason for that.
Hurts my eyes. No bold.
Do we understand bold is to highlight and bring attention to a certain portion?
Oh, they try to highlight all the
or
things.
Bold the entire thing. I can't see any of it. Please change that.
God, it's just a lot of words, man. It's a lot of words.
Also, go back to the first experience. Yeah, that one. So do we understand the point of bullet points? The point of bullet points is to immediately share your most significant accomplishments at a particular job. I always like to say it as, how did you leave that job better when you left it from when you got there? You don't have 15 most significant accomplishments that nobody does. The CEO doesn't have 15 most significant accomplishments in 2 years. And just ask yourself, what is the most significant? Every part of the resume needs to be a hook. The summary has to be a hook.
Yep.
And it pulls them in. They go to the skills and there are more hooks. They keep going. You want to keep hooking, and then they're at the end. Once you hit a block of text visually, it just does something to the brain. It's like you took the hook out the fish's mouth. Like, I'm done.
Listen, I would put some bullets in here, but you're kind of burying the headlines a little bit. This person's got a 4.0 of computer science at Texas A&M and their AWS cloud practitioner. That should be in the summary too.
Either the summary or they can, first of all, drop the summary down like 3 to 4 lines. They can, if I would put that under my summary, I would put it over skills. You know why? Because of the hooks. You want your most impactful hooks to be the first thing they see. And if you've got a 4.0 from Texas A&M in computer science and I have to scroll to find that, there's a chance I might scroll. I might, but I might not. 4.0 in CS anywhere is meaningful. Texas A&M is a no-joke program. It's not top tier, but it's not a joke program. I know their program. I personally would put that over technical skills. Even that's not where you normally put education, but it's such a powerful, strong point about who you are. Yep. You want them to know that about you. This is a skilled person, but we're not rating their skills. We're rating their resume. 3-ish.
I'm thinking 3.3.
Okay. 3s. Not because of their quality as a programmer. I think they can code their tail off. But we're only ranking the resume, and the resume determines if you get called or not.
All right, let's go to the final resume. It's not much better. It's a little better. It's not much better. It's a
15 bullet point summary. It's nearly the entire first page. If your summary is nearly the entire first page, is too long.
Well, he even like, or whoever, I don't know if it's he or she, they did 2 bullet points for this.
No one has hired a single or called a single person on their resume because it says good written communication skills ever in the history of life. Take
Yeah.
those non-value add things that are basics off your resume. It's like saying I know how to add a spreadsheet to Excel.
I like certs. Certs are good. We're trying to be positive, here. Like certs. I don't mind the technical skills in a box format. I think it's a little easy to read. Don't hate it.
The thing about doing this is they call themselves out. They put the level of their the level of Java, and the only way I would ever do that is if I'm on the current level. Like they put 8 and 11, which I know are still quite popular in enterprise, but Java is like on 25, 26, and so you've caught yourself out that you're not up to date on the current. So I would just leave that out. Just put Java. Like if you're not current, don't raise unnecessary questions. I would never have thought that if they didn't put the number.
Yeah.
Java has versions. 11 is not a recent version. It's
go.
still widely used. It's quite stable. It's not a recent version, so it's not a value add to add the 11.
So I like this. I love a good project summary. This frames, okay, this is what this person does. They went through it. Still probably 2 more bullet points. This is definitely a little bit more. This is a little tighter. We got the project summary. We don't have, it's still a fair amount of bullet points, not as many bullet points.
Where are the accomplishments?
Yeah, again, no accomplishments.
Look at the middle. Used Git for version control and track development tasks in Jira while maintaining project documentation. That is literally a job description bullet point for a junior or intern engineer. I would say intern. There is nothing about that you should be proud of. There's nothing about that you want to broadcast. Imagine your resume is a billboard on a street. Would you want the billboard on a street about you to say, I used Git? You would never do that. You would be embarrassed. So if you wouldn't be proud to put it on a billboard, don't put it on the digital billboard called your resume.
Absolutely.
But what you're proud of. What did you do? What do you pat your own self on the back about?
I do like this Cigna, again, project. I love a good project overview. Worked on a bone and joint bundle detection. Don't know what that is, but at least you outlined it.
It gives you the context you were talking about earlier, so that's good.
Yeah, I like the context. But again, it's just words. It's just
where
words.
are my numbers? Where are my metrics? Where's my KPIs? Where is my accomplished X by doing Y as measured by Z?
I'm giving this a 2.5. We're getting you. I would still say burn it down, but it's not a 1.5.
I'm 2 at best.
All right. Well, Lawrence, this was fun. Thank you, my friend.
First time. Thank you for having me.
Y'all have a good one. We love y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.